Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in Birmingham within 1 hour. This is the conclusion of the murder that took place last year. There was 3 murders in Small Heath within a 2-week period, all teenagers, and I've covered every single one of them stories. I've followed them from the beginning till the end. And this one is the second case from them series of stabbings that has now sentenced all the people involved. 3 men were jailed for the murder of Abdullah Muhammad, and my condolences and respects to the family of Abdullah. Demil Innis has been sentenced to life with a minimum of 29.5 years. That is the longest sentence I've heard in a long time. Amari Tulloch has been sentenced to 23 years. DELERO Walters has been sentenced to 21 years. 3 men charged with the murder of 16-year-old Abdullah Muhammad were given this sentence after a 5-week trial. Demil Innis pleaded guilty to murder and 2 robberies only 7 days into the trial. And today, on the 26th, and it's the 30th today, so it was 4 days ago, Amari Tulloch and DELERO Walters were found to be responsible for the robbery of 2 other people and the subsequent manslaughter of Abdullah on the 20th of February this year. Intense CCTV inquiries led the police to arrest Innis, who was 20 years old, and 18-year-old Walters. They were seen boarding a bus to travel to Small Heath, where they then met Tulloch before the group spent hours wandering the streets identifying their victims. The group threatened and robbed 2 people of their mobile phones and watches just before the murder, only a short distance away from where Abdullah was murdered. And as you can see from the CCTV footage, these lads were caught several different times on the bus, in the shop. They got very clear pictures of them as well. So just because you don't think he was caught at the scene, it goes to show nowadays technology is proving to be very difficult to evade. Abdullah and the 15-year-old boy were walking through Sara Park and they were approached by the trio. Sara Park is a very popular park in Small Heath, very popular for cricket. The prosecution believe he was to become their next victim. They started to ask him questions to get his attention before launching an unprovoked attack. The 15-year-old almost instantaneously was knocked to the ground, and injuries to Abdullah's hand suggest he attempted to grab the blade from Innis. Tragically, his attempts to defend himself were unsuccessful and he was fatally stabbed. And I do point out the police said he was 16 and they just said he was 15. I think they're basing that on the time period, how old he'd be now, and then they're talking in a different context. The emergency services were called and members of the public came to his aid, but despite their best efforts, Abdullah was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after suffering a fatal stab wound to the chest. Within 2 minutes of meeting, the prosecution said callously left him for dead. This was also seen on CCTV. The trio fled the scene and made their way out of the park, heading for Tulloch's brother's flat. And only days after the incident, 20-year-old Tulloch travelled to Bradford in an attempt to evade police, but was arrested on the 10th of March in Lincolnshire after being involved in other offences. A search of his property found a number of knives, and one in particular, a hunting-style Rambo knife, contained traces of Abdullah's blood, as well as a Michael Kors watch belonging to one of the robbery victims. By the 22nd of March, both Innis and Walters were arrested, and all 3 of them were charged with murder and 2 counts of robbery. Innis from Small Heath and Walters from Handsworth, and Tulloch was from Stratford Road in Sparkhill. They have all been found guilty of manslaughter and 2 robberies. The trio were due to be sentenced in Birmingham Crown Court, and that was 3 days ago, and their sentences were the longest I've seen in a long time. Abdullah's dad penned a powerful victim statement that was read out in court. He said, "My son Abdullah was loving, respectful, hardworking, and he would always look out for his brother and sisters, who clearly looked up to him in admiration. We were planning to help him learn to drive and assist him in his further education in business studies, and he was helping out with the family, which he was excited to do. Now all of that is gone and our family has changed forever. I know my son did not die a coward. When faced with danger, he fought for his own life against men carrying a disgracefully frightening weapon. The worst day of my life was the day I had to wash, prepare and then bury my son. I saw what these men did to him. No parent should have to experience that." The detective in charge said about how unprovoked it was, and the fact that it was just literally walking around trying to rob people. It goes to show know, even in 2019, I hear people say it all the time. Do people still rob phones? It still happens. If you need a bit of money and you're in that situation, anyone can find themselves there. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this. So please pay your respects to Abdullah, and please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And I've got a brand new layout on the website, so please don't forget to go check that out as well. And I'm going to have a new system for donations, because a lot of people want to donate and help with the channel. I'm just going to make it easier for you to do that.